thanks to those who have joined in so far, or a little earlier tonight. Thank you again. Just thank you for watching. Um, Story of the day, Jim. It's got to be Arion Carter suspended 2 games um, for the Furman and Georgia Tech games. Dropped this morning by Adam Sparks. It's like we just said. It's just hard to believe that the NCAA is worried about this. But for those who don't know, for those who don't quite get what's going on, they're doing this because his agent he hired for the NFL draft process before he, you know, came back to Tennessee, paid for a $427 flight to an NFL pre-draft training facility. Arion Carter paid him back, but the NCAA said, in their mind, like it's a level 3 violation, which is like very minor stuff. Like level 3 violations are like they're often self-reported by the athletic department if a school is doing this stuff. But 2-game suspension for a level 3 violation is like crazy, unheard of these days. And apparently, according to Adam Sparks earlier today, Jim, it was a 3-game suspension, and Tennessee's already appealed it down to 2. So this situation it's always Tennessee. It seems like we're never out of the news when it comes to dealing with the NCAA. So what are your thoughts on it?
I think it's crazy. You're taking away. I mean, the kid came back out of the NFL draft to get more, tape and stuff to get back into the NFL draft, and you're taking away 2 games of his last season.
Yeah.
For what? For what? Like literally for what? And I'm reading this off of On3, and Brent Hubbs talking about how what you just talked about, how they were talking about 3 games, which is crazy, which is absolutely crazy. And thank God our linebacker room is stacked. Thank God.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of us didn't even think Carter would be on the team. I mean, and I think most Tennessee fans were fine with it. But while he was going through that draft process, and even the time he was in the transfer portal, which wasn't, it was a pretty, I don't know, I can't remember exactly. It was at least a couple weeks, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, Jim. I don't know if you remember, but most people were all right with it just because of what you just said. Our linebacker room is pretty deep, but it never hurts to have again, he's preseason
all SEC.
He's preseason all SEC. He was all SEC last year. Pretty sure he led the league in tackles last year. Like it's
with bad feet.
Yeah. With the issue you see what he was having on the injury front last year. I mean, it's just I don't think he's the difference between beating Georgia Tech or not. I think we'll be able to handle them without Arion Carter services, but it's just like 2 games out of his last season is a joke, but they were going to take a fourth of his season for $427. I mean, it's just, and like I said, it's a level 3 violation. It's ridiculous.
And again, we were just talking about it, but he's not the only guy that did that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's level 3 violations every day at every school, probably. It's just.
But they see, Tennessee. Oh, okay.
It's just.
They're captain of their defense. Suspended.
Yeah, I think the NCAA, I mean, pretty much since the Pruitt deal, when Pruitt's tenure crashed and burned, it's just love to try to get one over on us. They tried to do it with the Nico deal at the start of 2024. And the whole Joey deal, they ended up, well, that was more on our part and the crappy lawyer that Joey and his camp hired. That wasn't really their fault. But, the point is they're just always seems to be always in the news with Tennessee, at least every few months. So I will say, I don't know why. I think these rules have been around for a while, like, which is why the NCAA, I guess, is pretty stout on this. But I don't know why the agent wouldn't have told Arion Carter, like, you go ahead and pay for this, and I'll just get you on the back end. I'll take it out of the whatever commission I get. I don't know why that couldn't have happened, but I guess that's just a moot point now. Now, do you think there's a chance Tennessee appeals this again now that it's public knowledge? Yeah,
oh yeah.
I 100%.
They already, they already are talking to whoever they got to talk to, because you know what? Fine, level 3, let him sit out the Furman game. Who cares?
Yeah,
but like, I mean, what's he gonna do? Play a half that game? So like, whatever. But Georgia Tech, really, you're gonna an away game, pretty big opponent, but whatever. But no, yeah, 100%, 100%. You have to appeal it. Maybe get it to one game. I mean, it'd be nice to have him the whole season. I mean, it's his last year, to show what he's got and play in orange. So, but yeah, I mean, they got to. I mean, we're lucky it's only 2, because we need, at least he gets a knock the rust off game against Kennesaw State before Texas. But, big time that he gets a game like that before SEC opener.
Yeah. Tennessee, apparently, this is still from the Adam Sparks article from the News Sentinel, but Tennessee argued that Carter's unique situation demanded common sense clemency from the NCAA, which I agree. It went on to say current legislation permits student athletes nationwide to have professional marketing representation, and through this representation, student athletes have received benefits, not like the nominal benefit Carter received, which again is $400. That's pretty nominal when you're talking about the money being thrown around in college football these days, which is the biggest part to me. They're really going to do this over that amount of money, and it is what it is. But like you said, I think Tennessee appeals this again, and I would say at the worst he probably, like you said, sets out the Furman game. I really don't think that it ends up being 2 games.
There's no way, dude. $400. Like, are we being super duper for real right now?
Yeah, it's like, it's crazy.
Again, if this was a different school, with trying to think of a school like a Texas or a Michigan or a Ohio State. This ain't happening. This ain't happening.
No, you're probably right. It's I hate to be that Tennessee fan, but it seems like everybody's always out to get us when it comes to NCAA, and you're talking about a time, like I've already said, millions of dollars are being thrown around. There's NBA and G League players coming back to play college basketball. The lines are so gray these days, and like Tennessee argued to the NCAA, this nominal benefit that Arion Carter paid back to the dude is going to be treated like some kind of insane offense to the integrity of college football.
They were about to let Brandon Sorsby play.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah.
If he didn't do his thing and just say, "Hey, I'm leaving," he would have played.
Yeah, I 100% believe that. Yeah.
So there's that. And again, there's a reason why everyone hates us and they don't want us to win, is because they're scared of us. And that's how it is. And that's just how it has always been.
Yeah. I don't disagree. So any more thoughts on that before we move on to some better news that has come out since our last show?
No, but they appeal it right away and knock it down to 1 game. I'd be happy with 1 game. Who cares about Furman?
Yeah, I 100% agree. But moving on, Tennessee got a pretty decent commitment today from Asa I'm assuming that's how you say it, Jim, unless you know different.
I think that's how you say it.
Asa Barnes from Martin, Tennessee, Westview High School, 3-star recruits. Beat him out for, I think it was Florida State's. I know Arkansas was in on him as well. A pretty good list of schools there that had offered him, and I commend the kid for coming, a week off of the David Gabriel George commitment. I think
Oh yeah,
that speaks a lot to his character there.
yeah, and I also think he could earn a 4th star. His senior year. Dude's talented. Could catch the ball out of the backfield. He could play wide receiver. He's very versatile. He's hard to take down. If you watch his highlights, he's a big dude. Seeks contact and really, he gives me a vibe of where he could, be a utility guy for Tennessee in their offense. Put him in the backfield like he's running back, and then he could, motion him out to where he could go catch the ball and, really help the Tennessee offense. Obviously DGG is going to play a lot, but getting this versatility in the backfield is really nice.
Yeah, 100%. Other recruiting news since we last talked, Jim. I think we kind of hinted at it then, but it has been confirmed since then that Tennessee is very much in the mix for trying to flip DJ/David Jacobs from Ohio State. What do you make of that?
I think there's definitely smoke. He's an Adidas athlete.
Mm-hmm.
His dad played for Rodney Garner.
Mm-hmm. Come on.
And I think Tennessee's going to really make a push here, and I think they might, get some Adidas money to, help that, if they really want him, and they need edge rushers, and DJ Jacobs he's a beast.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I think there's definitely smoke to it. We'll see. I know I was listening to the VolQuest stuff, and they were talking about how wait till gets to visit season and see where, if we could get him on campus, that'll be huge. Mm-hmm. And I think we do. I think you got a lot of really, really good home games this year where you could convince a kid like that to come down and watch the game. That'll be awesome, especially get up to the Texas game. If those two teams, if we're both 3-0 and going into that game, that place is going to be absolutely bonkers, and you get a guy like that to campus.
100%. I mean, even if you don't get them that early in the season, you got several opportunities later in the season too. I mean,
yeah, you got
LSU,
Bama,
Alabama, Auburn, Kentucky too. So
it's
pretty exciting that it's not just message board fodder anymore since Steve Wiltfong came out and pretty much confirmed it that Tennessee is all over him. So we'll see what unfolds from there, Jim. Now, before I wanted to go through the schedule tonight, Jim, and talk about, our biggest stretches of the season, biggest game of the season so far, so on and so forth. Not necessarily predicting anything at all, but just talking about the schedule in a little bit of depth. But before we do that, I want to talk about how things shook out on the SEC Media Days as far as their predictions went, the media's predictions. Tennessee, first and foremost, picked to finish 8th in the SEC. What do you make of that, Jim?
I think it's fair. Knowing how they usually vote, I didn't expect them to put us in front of Alabama, but I feel like you could flip the two, depending on, they're both having a young quarterback. Bama's not as scary as it normally is now that, Nick Saban's gone. I feel like it was pretty well spot on. Tennessee, again, can have a incredible year. Like, no one thought in 2022 Tennessee was going to do what they did.
Yep.
But I think the defense has improved. I think they're going to. I mean, look at hold on, let me find the tweet because the last 5 years in the Jim Knowles defenses, he averages an 11th overall defense.
Mm-hmm.
So let me find it. But let's see. I can't remember. Oh yeah, Jim Knowles' defenses in 2021 was 9th, 22 was 14, 23 was number 3, and then 24 obviously it was number 1, and then last year was 34, but that's obviously mainly because of James Franklin. But again, you're getting an awesome defensive mind. You have Derek Owings, an absolute hoss of a strength conditioning coach. I'm pretty sure there was only 10 players last year that broke 21 miles an hour or 21 or 20 miles an hour. There's 42 this year.
That's nuts. Yeah.
Think about that. That is an absolutely astronomical change.
Yeah. You're almost
look at
tripling the number there.
Yeah. And you look at the before and after pictures that they posted today. Like, these kids have made huge transformations in such a short time. People don't realize that some of these kids are going to have multiple years with him to where they're going to become absolute freaks.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, normally when you hire a strength coach, you expect the results to be over a few years' time, you know? And I don't think Tennessee's strength coach was just a bum, but, you know, he obviously was not cutting it. And I think when you have a decent foundation, a guy like Derek Owings can make things happen quick. And obviously, based on the pictures we've seen and the speed numbers that you just stated there, I mean, he's putting a lot of work very quickly. So, but yeah, I think Tennessee picked to finish 8th in the SEC is pretty fair. I think it's actually a little bit of it speaks to Tennessee's roster that we're picked to finish 8th with a true freshman quarterback, assumingly starting. Like you said, I think Tennessee and Alabama, and I would even throw in Oklahoma and LSU. I think those 4 teams there that are picked to finish from 5th to 8th, to me, that can go any kind of way in the middle of that there. I think the top 3 are pretty clear. At least the top 2 are clear. Georgia and Texas are. But Ole Miss, I have some questions about just without Lane Kiffin throughout an entire season. Texas A&M, I also have some questions about. Is Marcel Reed good enough? But yeah, especially the LSU, Oklahoma, Alabama, and us, I think there's a lot of room for moving there. So I think Tennessee can finish better than 8th for sure. And really, the only teams I wouldn't pick Tennessee to go over if things go well is Georgia and Texas. I think we can get up there to 3rd in the SEC in my book if things do go well.
Let me before I'm kind of gonna go off of you what you just said, but going back to Derek Owings real quick because I just saw something that's absolutely mind blowing. But one, Steve Wilfong, Tennessee, 2 hours ago, by the way, Tennessee hiring Derek Owings was the biggest non-head coach hire any program has made in the country. Okay, huge. Derek Owings via his Instagram posted some of the numbers that these kids have put up. You want to know what Faison Brandon did this offseason?
How much weight did he add? Let's hear it.
19.5 pounds of lean mass. Okay. Crazy.
Yeah.
Deshaun Brame, 14 pounds. Travis Smith Jr., 14 pounds. Bishop, 13 pounds. Javin Gordon, 11.5 pounds. And then Tyree Weathersby, up 12 pounds.
Damn.
Quay Moss, 15 pounds. TJ Metcalf, 12 pounds. Like, this is absolute, like, dude.
Yeah.
For everyone that doesn't know, I've been on a transformation myself for 6 months, and I can't tell you like how hard it is to do that. It is very, very hard to do that in a short period of time like that.
Yeah.
And it's awesome to see. I think I'm telling you, this is the question I was going to ask. What you were talking about, how Tennessee could be up there on the list, because I agree with you. If Tennessee had Joey Aguilar coming back, where would Tennessee be ranked?
8th.
You think so? I don't think so.
I'm ready to come out and say it. I think. How many teams did we beat with a winning record last year?
Yeah, our defense sucked though. Our
Yeah,
defense
but
sucked.
how many
Give Josh Heupel a returning quarterback right now. What would you put us at?
Maybe a spot or two higher. Maybe like 6th. But how many points did Joey score against Alabama?
Well, that's also a coaching problem.
Yeah.
If we're going to really talk about it.
Well, we scored 20, but we also had that pick 6. So I would say we netted 13. Joey practically gave the game away against Oklahoma. I won't really peg the Vanderbilt game on Joey, but at least those 2 games I think were a lot on Joey. Now, I think with Faison, the ceiling's higher, but obviously the floor has dropped a couple levels. That's just what I would say to that. But to your point, I think if we had a more stable quarterback situation, at least the media perception would certainly be maybe
that's my point. That's my point.
A spot or 2 higher, yeah.
It's the same thing with Alabama. If Alabama had someone coming back, Alabama would be way higher.
Yeah.
So, and then also, I wanted to bring this up. I don't know if you caught this little snippet, but did you notice that who wasn't in the pictures of the transformations?
George.
And George wasn't, and QB1 was.
Yep. Yeah.
So
I mean, they did say George has put on like 20 pounds, but
don't believe it.
You're putting 20 pounds onto a guy.
Where to go?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, George, for if he wins the starting job or not, it certainly looks like it's like 95% going to be Faison. He's going to be the backup, so he better be ready to play. So I'll say that. So whatever weight he has put on, I hope he puts it to good use. So, but yeah. Any more thoughts on Derek Owens? Because I do want to talk about these preseason all SEC teams as well, and some of the problems, big time problems I have with that.
Oh no, I'm down to talk about that because that's mind blowing. How, but yeah, but no, Derek Owens, phenomenal hire. I think you're going to see astronomical change within the program because kids are going to want to come be in that strength program just because of what he's doing. And if you haven't watched, I don't know if you have, but there's a guy that does the nose strips. Mm-hmm. Did you watch that YouTube video of where he visits Tennessee?
I have not yet.
Dude, the amount of money that Tennessee has put into that strength program and all the stuff that, Derek Owens is getting, they are so serious right now about giving him everything he needs. One, to keep him, because if you're going to keep someone like that, you give him everything he wants. And you just watch the video. If anyone listening hasn't seen it, go watch it. It's really awesome. You get to see inside, Tennessee's strength program and facility. It's really awesome to see.
What's the name of the video again? Or who?
I'll find it for you.
Okay, but anyway, like let's talk about these all preseason all SEC teams, Jim. I guess we'll start with the first team. Trinidad Chambliss. Any surprises there, Jim?
No.
Yeah, I agree. Top 2 running backs in the SEC on the first team, according to the media. Kawan Lacey, Ahmad Hardy. I have no problem with that either.
Nope.
Cam Coleman, Texas. That's fine. Here's my first problem. Well, Ryan Coleman Williams from Alabama is a first-team preseason all SEC member. Big time problem.
He had one good game. He had one good game in his career. And I've been arguing with Alabama fans about this because they're like, oh, you ain't going to stop Ryan Coleman Williams. By the way, just call him Ryan Williams. That's his name. I can't stand
I think that the Coleman's been there for like 6 months.
Yeah, like who cares? He's just trying to copy Camp Coleman. But anyway, but Ryan Williams had one good game against Georgia. And everyone was like, oh, my God, he's the next big thing. And then he does nothing.
That's literally the story of his career. I mean, I think people remember how good he was in that Georgia game and that big-time play he made to basically secure that win. But last year's numbers for Ryan Coleman Williams, 49 receptions, 689 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Let's take a look at
Yeah, go ahead. Pull him up. I already know what you're talking about.
Braylon Staley's numbers. We are 68 receptions, 19 more, 837 yards, nearly 200, about 140 more yards there, 150 more yards, 2 more touchdowns with 6.
What about Mike?
Let's look at Mike too. They're very comparable. 53 receptions, that is 4 more, 813 yards, nearly 120 yards more, a little around 120 yards more, same amount of touchdowns. So, like we have stated, Jim, literally the reason he probably got that first team rub is because of what he did, not last year, but the year before. I do not think he should be anywhere near a first team all SEC player based off last year.
Now, is he capable? Absolutely, but
yeah,
not a first team all SEC.
I would have been fine with him second or third team. Third probably, yeah. But
yeah,
it's just that was my big problem with the first team. Trey'Dez Green, I don't have a problem with that at tight end. Guards and centers, and I really don't know.
Jordan Seaton, come on now. Are we?
Seaton's bold. I'll
no, he, definitely all SEC. I just don't put him first. I mean,
yeah, I mean he hasn't played in the SEC, so
correct.
We'll just have to see. Now we can go to the second team, and we'll start with the offensive line this time. My problem here, I guarantee you know what it is, Jim. Lance Hurd is a second team all SEC player.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, dude ran away from competition, so.
Well, I mean, I don't know if they followed the offseason, but Tennessee literally chose to have David Sanders move to left tackle and let him go.
Well, if anyone didn't know, David Sanders is an absolute beast. So,
but according to the SEC media, David Sanders is a third team all SEC guy, and Lance Hurd is second team all SEC. By the way, at Kentucky. So I don't if that tells you anything, he left Tennessee to go to Kentucky, a la Gerald Mincey. So we'll see if he goes to the concession stand in the middle of the game too.
I think he'll end up sitting out half the year.
Maybe. Arch Manning at quarterback, second team. Do we have any problem with that? Because I think Stockton was better last year, but Arch Manning on potential is probably
potential and his name. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I'm just glad they didn't put him first because I mean, I could have seen that where they put him first team and Trinidad second team. That would have been hilarious.
Yeah. At running back on the second team, Jaden Ball and Nate Frazier. I think
Nate Frazier's great.
I think he's good. I think that could have easily been Deshaun, who comes in at the on the third team duo of running backs there with Hollywood Smothers from Texas. That's okay. Literally, my biggest problem with this whole all SEC offense was Ryan Williams and the Lance Hurd deal. By the way, Wendell Moe also for Tennessee made the third team. Tennessee only had 3 players on this, and it was all third teamers.
I truly believe that Braylon Staley and Mike Matthews were absolutely robbed.
And hopefully it motivates them.
Oh, they will, 100%. 100%, but if not both of them, one of them should have been on it. And obviously it was Braylon Staley just because last year, but they could have both easily been on that list.
Yeah, and as far as the defense goes, only Tennessee player on there, Arion Carter, third team linebacker. So
yeah, led the whole league in tackles, and he's third team.
Yeah, I mean that's just how it goes. But any more thoughts on those teams? I mean, the media. You're talking about people who probably are locked in, like, and me and you are the same way. They're so locked in on their team, it kind of skews their judgment.
Right. I mean, I can't say anything because if I had that, I'd be saying Braylon Staley, Mike Matthews, they're on there. I'm telling you that the whole defense is on there. But I'm telling you, people, when we talk about the schedule right now, people are sleeping on the balls, and they could easily have a incredible year and catch a lot of teams off guard. That's why I'm really happy we have Texas early. I am really happy we have them early.
Yeah. So Obviously, you start the season with Furman, which I think Tennessee's nearly a 50-point favorite there.
Take the over. Take the spread.
I agree. I think they're going to let Faison cut it loose there, and then you'll probably see George for some amount of time there. So,
no, well, I was going to ask you that question. Talking about the Furman game, what do you do? Like, because I know Josh Heupel during SEC media days said that he's going to name his guy, and when he names his guy, he names his guy. So I don't think it's going to be like hey, Faison's first half, GMAC your second half. We're going to see what happens. No, I think it's going to be whoever's QB1 is going to play 3 quarters, unless it's like 65-0 going into halftime. So that's my thing. Is I think Faison plays like 3 quarters or QB1. I'm not going to say Faison yet, but that's who I think it's going to be. But I thought I'd ask you that because I found it curious to think. What do you see week 1 against a team like that?
I think you just see a lot of as many players as you can get into the game as possible, especially on defense, because you need to get a lot of guys a lot of reps.
Oh yeah,
and offensively, just stay healthy. I mean that's always the stories with these type of games. So, Georgia Tech. I mean, I don't think this is as big as our first decent game of the year has been in the past. I remember before the 2024 season, we were saying how big the NC State game was. I don't think it's that big because the only thing that is going to make it harder is because it's not a neutral site game. But I'm not expecting much out of Georgia Tech this year. What are your thoughts on that game, Jim?
I definitely don't want to sleep on Georgia Tech.
No.
But if you were asking me if we were going into this game last year, I would be very, very nervous about this game. But their team's completely changed. I'm pretty sure they have a new offensive coordinator, correct, or a defensive coordinator, one of the two.
A lot of changes, yeah.
Sure. A lot of changes. New quarterback, no Haynes King. Eric Singleton's not there. On paper, if you're looking at this game, you take Tennessee all day long. But you can't sleep on teams like this, especially on the road. And I have a lot of respect for their head coach. I do.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that keeps me like on the more of the line of like, hey, don't sleep on this team because they're going to come ready to play. And again, it's an early season game. This isn't late in the season where your team's all meshed together. This is freshman quarterback going into a road environment very, very early. And I just have confidence in Josh Heupel and Jim. I love having Jim Knowles as a defensive mind here.
Yeah. I will say, like you just mentioned, the only thing that would worry me about this game is a true freshman's first road start. But I do like that it's in Atlanta. I think Tennessee will have a very good representation there. And like you said, it's early in the season, but it's also early in the season for Georgia Tech, which means I do think the talent will win out at the end of the day there. So, and I honestly think if no like crazy nonsense happens, Tennessee can run the ball and screen past them to a 17 to 21 point win pretty easily. So, but we'll see how it goes down. But moving on from there, one thing I liked about this schedule, Jim, is that you're not outside of Knoxville. That's the only time you're outside of Knoxville until October 10th. So you're going to be at home for, good Lord, excuse me. You're going to be at home for the first month of the season outside of a 3 to 4 hour road trip down south. So that's good. But Kennesaw State next, that is obviously a tune-up for the biggest game of, if not the season, at least the early season. Texas coming to town on September 26th, Jim.
Well, it seems to me like every year we have this one pivotal game. Everyone's sleeping on the ball, saying that Texas would come in, whoop that ass, whatever. This is the game of the year to me. Like this is the game. If I'm Josh Heupel, I am circling this on my calendar because this could changes your season's trajectory by a long shot. Okay.
Yeah.
One, battle of the UTs. You got Arch Manning coming to his uncle's stomping ground. Checker Neyland. Both teams should be 3-0 at this point. Could argue.
Texas does have to play Ohio State, but they do get them at home.
Yeah, and you could argue college game day being here.
Mm-hmm.
Could argue it. Probably SEC Nation will be here.
Somebody will. Yeah.
Yeah. I just think, dude, you get Texas at an early spot in the season where the Vols could sneak up. And dude, if the Vols win this game, you are 4-0 after beating Texas, who's probably a top 10 team. If they beat Ohio State, they're a top 5 team.
They're. I wouldn't be surprised if they're ranked number 1 coming to Knoxville if they do beat Ohio State. I mean, I think that's pretty safe to say to me.
If you win that game, that's what I'm saying. If I'm Heupel, that is on my list. That is number 1 priority to go. That crowd's gonna be absolutely bonkers. So again, that's game of the year for me. Because if you could sneak that one, everyone's saying, "Oh, Texas is gonna win," whatever, shooing it across. But if they could sneak that one, that changes the season entirely.
Yeah, I mean, not just picking up a huge win. There's just the confidence that a team would gain from that. You should have had that early last year over Georgia. You should have had that, and I think this is that opportunity this year. So I totally agree with you. If I were to pick the most important game of the year, it is absolutely that first SEC game. It was this game was Florida for 20 years for Tennessee. Their first SEC game against their first game against a decent opponent. This year and pretty much every year from here on out, it'll probably not be Florida, but Texas. I mean, you couldn't ask for a bigger game, bigger first home conference game. I mean, this is the biggest one of the year, and that's even with Alabama included. And I'm partial to the Alabama-Tennessee rivalry more than anyone, but Texas is far and away the biggest game, hands down, this entire season, just because of where it falls and the confidence that it could give your team. So
now, and that's another thing is it could, say you win that game, the game of the year changes throughout the year. But to me, that is number 1 priority. If you could go sneak that game at home, the atmosphere that you would create. Obviously, I don't think it's a 22 Bama atmosphere at all, but I'm just saying the atmosphere, the confidence in the fan base, dude, would be phenomenal.
I love that. Vol Twitter would be strutting that ass for.
What's that kid's name? Kyle? Kyle, you better hope. You better hope we don't win. You better hope.
Now, after the Texas game, I think you have two games that are sneaky to me.
Oh yeah.
Auburn at home. I mean, I think that is the less of the sneaky games, but Arkansas on the road, it got us 2 years ago. We haven't won there.
Fits, man.
We haven't won there, and I can't even remember how long it's been now. Like, it's been at least 20, if not 25 years. The last time we beat Arkansas until last year was like 2007. So we just don't beat them a lot. I mean, I know we don't play them a lot, but we do not beat them very often. So those 2 games, you obviously have the storyline of Alex Golesh coming back to Knoxville. Twitter would be so annoying if Tennessee loses that game, talking about Golesh versus Heupel.
Go hire him. Go get him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I think what's their quarterback's name who came with Golesh?
Brown.
Yeah.
Brown.
Yep. I don't think he's that great. He's no Hendon Hooker. I think Tennessee should be able to handle that game, but it is sneaky. I mean, 2 coaches that are very familiar with each other, and then I've already talked about that Arkansas game. Which one of those 2 scare you, Jim?
And no, this isn't a shot at Auburn because Auburn is a very good football team. But it's just because it's on the road, I'm going to say Arkansas. because we've had so much, like we have fits at that place, and that's the only reason. Like I said, I'm no smoke at Auburn. I'm not saying you guys are bad. That game's a home game, which gives me a little bit more confidence in the Arkansas game.
Yeah, 100%. Third Saturday in October is always important. For the last 4 years, this game has been pretty important for both teams.
Yeah.
I mean, I think these last 4 years, both teams have come into it with one or fewer losses. So this rivalry has certainly gained back its reputation. It's 2-2 in the last 4 years. Home teams have won each game, and if the trend continues, Tennessee picks up a big win here, Jim. What do you think about this game? I know me and you both have talked about the last 2 weeks, the fact that these teams on paper are very similar.
Yeah,
as far as the quarterback situation and that whole deal. So,
again, no one knows what Tennessee is going to look like. No one knows what Alabama is going to look like this year. Alabama could fall apart in the beginning of the year. We don't know. Tennessee could fall apart beginning of the year. So this game could obviously means a lot anytime to beat them, regardless. So, I don't know. This game is right now, it's just 50-50 to me because we have no idea between both teams. Like, we have just no idea what we're going to see. How good is, Keelan Russell? How good is Faison Brandon or GMAC? What? Because on paper, if you're looking at Tennessee in general, I'd say Tennessee should win this game. I mean, They have a whole starting offensive line coming back pretty much. We talked about this a million times. Tennessee has the tools. If Tennessee had a returning quarterback, the narratives would be 100% different.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, if the trend continues, this is going to be another huge game. Now, the week after that, you go down to South Carolina.
Sneaky.
Yeah, it's very. I mean, that's one of the most underrated, tough places to play in the SEC, and we found that out 4 years ago, as we got blitzkrieg there, thanks to Tim Banks and his genius. So, what do you feel about that one, Jim? Because I think that is that could be like the biggest trap game of the year there.
My thing is I don't think it's really a trap game. I think South Carolina didn't do well last year, and I do think Lenora Sellers turns it around. Not saying any like Heisman talks, but I think Lenora Sellers is a really good quarterback. I feel like that one, I don't call it sneaky. Again, I think this game's a 50-50 game. And I would give South Carolina the slight edge for it being home. And knowing how much they hate us, is this game would be a night game for some reason. I don't know if they announced that yet. This game will probably be a night game, and it'll be 2022 all over again. Because if you think about it, hypothetically, with what we're doing here, if Texas somehow lost to us and we're quote unquote 6-1, 7-0, this is where I feel like it would be a fall apart game. What you're talking about as a trap game.
Yeah, that's in my scenario, that's where the trap game is. You're a top 5 team going down to South Carolina, which
we know how that ended up last time.
Yeah, if it is a night game, especially, and they probably, I know their roster overall is not on the same level as the top tier of the SEC, but they probably have on offense one of the best players when he's playing well in Lenora Sellers, and on defense one of the best players in Stewart. So they have some game breakers, but I think if Tennessee just goes in there and takes care of business, they can just beat them with the strength of the overall roster. I mean, hopefully not have a repeat of 4 years ago. Kentucky at home. Unless Will Stein is like the prodigy that some people think he might be, I think this is a pretty easy win there with your home again. What do you think about that one, Jim?
I think Tennessee should win this game. Like you said, I feel like Will Stein's going to be a better coach than Mark Stoops. I really do. I think he's in our eyes, we'll turn the Kentucky program around. I know Tennessee fans don't want to hear that. I do think they will get better. I don't think they're going to be this powerhouse this year or anything like that. I think Tennessee should handle business. It's going to be a night game at home, most likely. I would assume that it's a night game. It usually is. And I just think Tennessee handles business at home. Now, it's not like 100% I'm giving us a win. For sure, I'm not. You don't do that with any game, really, except for Furman and Kennesaw State.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think Tennessee handles business here and continues the tradition of kicking Kentucky's ass. I don't know.
I tend to agree. Unless, like I said, Wolstein has them playing crazy. But even when Kentucky's been good and Tennessee has been even bad, Tennessee has found a way to beat Kentucky for the most part. A trip to Texas A&M. I mean, like I said earlier, we were talking about the projections. A&M came in fourth, but I think A&M could fall apart this year if Marcel Reed, I've never thought he was great. I think he had a lot of talent around him. I think that defense last year carried them a lot. They lost a lot of that defense. So this is the toughest road game on paper before the season. But
luckily it's late. So it's late in the season.
Where there's going to be the cake will be pretty much baked as far as what these teams are by by the 10th game. So I think Tennessee has a chance to win that. I think a lot of people look at that game as unwinnable, but I don't view it that way.
Yeah, I wouldn't say unwinnable. Again, none of these games are – I mean, like I said, except for Furman and Kennesaw State, none of these games are 100% locks to win a game.
Yeah. And
that's including Georgia Tech. That's including Vanderbilt. That's including Kentucky, and Arkansas, obviously. Sorry. I'm not trying to burn, myself by saying, oh, these are cakewalks. Tennessee's got a hard schedule. I think we're ranked 14th in strength of schedule. I mean, it's a tough schedule. And like I said, to me, the biggest game of the year is the Texas game. It writes your season for what it's going to be, because if you lose that game, even if you win the Auburn Arkansas game, you're 5-1. Then the Bama game, all the narratives, it's crazy what that game, changes the narrative of the season by a lot.
Yeah.
So
now, I think, if Tennessee does lose to Texas, I don't think,
it's not over.
It's not dead and gone, but the vibes would be a lot better. Like we've already talked about the confidence and everything. But what about that LSU game? Potentially, it's hard to say now. Just looking at this, we've already said Texas is the most important game. But potentially the LSU game on November 21st could be the biggest game of the year for playoff implications if things have gone well.
I mean, and to me, it'd be hard to keep out any SEC team that's 9-3. If, let's say, again, everyone listening, this is all hypothetical, but if Tennessee were to beat, were to beat Texas, were to beat, a Texas A&M, and let's say they got 2 losses and LSU's on, coming to Neyland, and they win that game, and let's say they're 9-3. To end the year, but they beat a Texas A&M. Hard to keep a team out of the playoff with something like that. So yeah, you're right. LSU could have huge implications. That game is if you could get in that stadium, you do not miss that game. That game is going to be crazy.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously the main storyline will be Kiffin back in Knoxville again after the craziness in 2021. But yeah, that game could be, if I were looking at it now and projecting it now, I'd say that would be the second biggest game of the year to me.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt's in the season. All I'll say about that, Jim, is I hope to God we give them some payback for what they did to us last year.
So, well, they don't have Pavia. They don't have they don't have what's his name, Stowers. I'm sorry, Vanderbilt fans, but you had your 1 year of glory beating us. I'm telling you, Heupel is going to come in with a vengeance. And I'm telling you, I think the defense is going to make a major turnaround. And you're going to see a Vols team that plays a lot of speed and violence this year.
And we have, at least on paper, we have, twice as much speed, 3 times as much speed. So
42 players that run over 20 miles an hour. That's insane. That's insane.
It's nuts. Not an easy schedule by any means. I don't think it's like a murderer's row as some Tennessee schedules have been in the past, but I do like pretty much all of our biggest games are at home. Our Vanderbilt, South Carolina, Arkansas, Georgia Tech. Those are 4 very manageable road games to me. They're very
A&M's the only scary one to me.
Yeah, A&M's the one where you're going to have to play a top-notch game to come out of there with the win. The other 4,
both sides of the ball.
Yeah, the other 4, I think you can go in there and just beat them on the strength of your roster, and you can make a few mistakes. You can't make a ton of mistakes, but
obviously, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But yeah, the road games aren't as hard as they've been in the past. The home games that are hard, the hard games are all at home. I think it sets up well. Just really if the whole season hinges on Faison, and we'll talk about that more in the coming weeks. But Jim, do you have any more thoughts tonight?
I don't think so. Ladies and gentlemen, we are so close to fall camp. We're about to we're on the final ends of getting to football season again. It's crazy.
Yep. We're almost I think it'll be 5 weeks on Saturday away? Or is it 4 weeks?
It's not far. What is the first game? It's September 5th for Tennessee.
Yeah, so it'll be 5 weeks.
It's insane. Right. 5 Saturdays, and some people will be inside Neyland Stadium.
Beautiful. Well, thank you to all who have tuned in. 75V, we really appreciate it. Still kind of a slow time of year. Not everybody's in the football mood like me and you, Jim, but maybe 75 people are who have tuned in. And like I said, we appreciate it, and go Vols.
Go Vols, baby.